So first question is, I'm told that you get a lot of questions about vegetarianism.
Not a lot, but a fair amount of questions.
Okay.
I'm
curious. And this is different than the question of being vegan.
No, I mean, vegan, vegetarian, this actually comes up in the class because we talk about personal preferences of the Prophet ﷺ.
Okay.
And we talk about how you can have personal preferences that Islam doesn't have a stance on.
Okay.
Right? So sometimes the issue it's mubah, it's allowed. Islam doesn't say yay or nay, it's just something which is permissible.
Okay.
And so you can have your personal preference, just like you choose to wear a particular type of shirt because it's your style.
Okay.
Right? And Islam doesn't really care. So people, and then sometimes people ask, like, look, is it wrong to be vegan or vegetarian? Because it's my personal preference.
Okay, but some might argue the opposite, right? They might say, hey, it's actually better to be vegan or vegetarianism than to be consuming all this animal meat.
Right, exactly. So that's where we have to differentiate the two and say, look, when you say better, are you speaking from a religious perspective? Okay. Because if that's the case, then you need evidence for that. Where like in the Quran or the Sunnah, we're told, hey, don't eat meat and it's better.
Okay.
Right? And there's nothing like that. But if you're saying, look, for me, I choose not to eat it, or because of how animals are treated today, or for an external reason, and as long as you're not attributing it to Islam, saying, oh, Islam tells me I have to be vegan.
So to not necessarily make it a religious reason.
Right.
Or attach spiritual significance to it.
Exactly. So someone says, look, Islam tells me not to be cruel to animals, and the norm right now in the meat industry is that there's a lot of cruelty towards animals. So because of that, I choose not to eat meat. So that's very different than saying, hey, eating meat is bad. Or, for example, somebody says, oh, it's bad to kill animals.
Oh, because animals have feelings and things like that.
Exactly.
But that doesn't have a religious significance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why so we have to differentiate between the two. Me personally,
about
vegetarianism or veganism.
Yeah.
Well, I personally hold, like, for me, it goes back to an issue of, there's a few different factors. Obviously, we should care about how animals are treated.
Sure.
Right? So if that's the solution, which I don't know it is, that, hey, if you stop eating meat, then we can make a difference in the meat industry. I don't know that to be the case, and it could be, right? I'm just not, I would say very openly, I'm not informed enough to make that decision or to come to that conclusion. But from a health perspective, Islam always is for moderation. So look, we know that when we eat a lot of red meat, it's not healthy.
Well, red meat is a particular classification.
Exactly. So for me, I'm like, okay, so that I totally get that. Moderation in red meat.
Especially with a sedentary lifestyle.
Exactly.
Right. And what about this kind of meat right here? Like this. What would this fall under?
They're so beautiful, man. Why would you do anything to them?
Well, they actually want us to get rid of them. We were actually joking here about how I was like, yo, let's start up a barbecue. I know a friend who has a Vietnamese duck recipe.
I don't know, man. I'm just, look, I believe that there's an Islamic way to slaughter, which is totally merciful towards animals and all that. I'm just personally, like, if I see an animal being killed, I have a tough time eating that animal. But that has nothing to do with Islam. It's just a personal thing. I remember when I was a kid, we slaughtered a goat for Eid.
Nice.
And I remember, like, it's like this very vivid memory where, we're like playing with this goat, right? And then we got to slaughter it. And then, like, an hour later, there's like some food made and there's like meat. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, I was just playing with this dude. And like psychologically that messed me up because I was like, I can't eat this.
It's funny because my sister, we went to India, we had some goats, they were playing around with it, and then the goats disappear, right? And we had cooked it, served it to everybody, and my sister's like, where's the goat? And my dad's like, it's in your plate.
Oh man, that's pretty much what happened to me. And so like I couldn't bring myself to eat that, but that's just me, I don't know.
That one's creeping up on you.
Nah, it's just fine.